What up? What up? What up? It's your boy Brandon, and we back with another episode of the I'm Just Saying podcast. Man, I'm still getting used to the face-to-face interactions now, I guess you could say. Um, it's different when you have to talk and look at yourself. So I appreciate y'all jumping in here with me for another episode. Um, man, this episode is very interesting because I feel like I really don't talk about. Oh, I try to switch it up from past seasons where I didn't want to talk about myself per se. I wanted to talk about more of general topics, and because I felt like I did that started off the podcast the first two seasons. I felt like I was just talking about my personal experiences, and this one. And lately, with the last couple episodes, I just been doing my own thing. I just been feeling how I feel and whatever topic that comes to me, I just been interested in. So I kind of just let that be what it was and kept it moving. Um this episode was something that I felt like I needed to talk about going forward with my life. So like I said, it's just something that I think that needed to be talked about. It needed to be um I think I needed to. It's like I'm literally talking to myself, really, like something I feel like I need to stand on, and not necessarily. I mean, and when I say stand on, I mean be a little bit more firmer on, like hold my ground a little bit more, because I fold. I ain't gonna hold you. I fold when it comes to dating, and I make fake stipulations for people that I'm talking to. So I feel like I needed to be write my own expectations out and like for because I feel like starting in 2025, I feel like I wanted to uh be more grounded when it came to dating. Whenever I decide to, cross over and be in a relationship, I just feel like I needed to have my expectations in line to get to that point. I think we all got our own dating expectations, and I feel like this was a good episode for me to talk about me and to hopefully hear back from y'all. So, I always want to hear what y'all thinking and what y'all feeling. I love y'all feedback. Now that I'm crossing over into YouTube, I've always wanted to like see and like feel what y'all feel. So, with that being said, today's episode is called Dating Expectations. I made a reel not too long ago about what what these expectations are, so these aren't unfamiliar to you. The reel is going crazy right now, so and I put it on TikTok as well, so I wanted everybody to feel that and see how what I was coming with. So okay, now that I'm using, if you wonder why everything is like the background and all this stuff is going on, I'm using StreamYard. So StreamYard is pretty lit, by the way. Hopefully I could get like some type of sponsorship with them, hopefully. But either way, it's lit. It kind of it makes the whole studio and it makes the platform pretty lit, by the way. But so and it's like I said, you can see how dope it is with everything just scrolling through. I like this. I really like this. So like I said, this episode is called Dating Expectations, and I wanted to give y'all my top five. Let me reiterate that this is my top five. And like I said, I hope mine is relatable to y'all's, but it doesn't matter if it does or not. Y'all have your own, I got mine. So and then let me reiterate what the top five is. This is top five things I ain't dealing with when it comes to dating. Pretty much, these are five things that if you don't come with this at least halfway through, like if you don't have this down pack at least halfway through, then we ain't gonna work out. And I'm being firm on this because like I'm 33. I ain't got time to be playing games with nobody no more. So these are my top five things that I ain't dealing with. So like well, my five dating expectations I ain't dealing with. So like I said, like I just want everybody to know like there's no shade. This is just things that over the last couple years that I feel like I just can't bend on no more. Like I said, I'm gonna always still, I'm gonna give grace, I'm gonna give time and be patient, because patience and dating is a virtue. It's required, it's needed, it's something that we all should strive for when we're dating somebody. So I just want to make sure that we all on the same page. So these are the 5 things in dating, my 5 dating expectations I ain't dealing with. So number one, your trauma. Now, like I said, like your trauma, and like, well, basically like what I said in the reel, like, don't, I mean, these are pretty much, I put them in order. I kind of, in the reel, I didn't really put them in order as much, but I put them in order where I was like, hey man, listen, I'm not dealing with none of that shit, bro. Like, I'm not. I think this is from top to bottom, least to greatest. I mean, like I said, there's an order that I'm putting into it, but it's not really like you have to have all these things in that order for me to not to date you. That doesn't make sense. So number one, your trauma. Oh, let me put it back up on the stage. There we go. So your trauma. I'm not saying that none of us don't have traumas, right? I'm saying that you shouldn't be putting your trauma onto me. We're not trauma bonding, and that's something I'm not really about to go for. Like, I need you to be at a level of heal where, let's say, my number, I'm gonna say it like I said it last time, 75%. Because I say 75% because none of us are ever really going to be healed. None of us are ever going to really have, full heal. I mean, if you ever reached a level where you're kind of fully healed and you feel like you're fully healed from something, hey, more power to you. I just don't think some situations are going to end up like that. I just don't think that vibe can also, I mean, it can be achieved. I think so. It just takes a very, very long time and a lot of work, a lot of healing, a lot of, shadow work and all that. But I say 75% because that means you're over the hump. You only got a little bit more left. That last 25%, that's just stuff that you work on a daily basis, stuff that you're trying to figure out and get through by yourself. So that's why I say 75%. 75%, in my opinion, is a good look. Like, I think so. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Do you think 75% being healed is a good number? Because a lot of people are saying come healed, right? But me, I'm gonna say just come a little over average, a little above normal before we start talking. Because I'm working on myself every day. I'm doing things, healing things, and I'm not perfect. And that's why I say none of us are. So 75% is a really good number. It's a really good start to going back out there and trying to date. Because now you recognize, a reason why I say that too also is because you recognize the fact that you are working on yourself. You realize you were hurt. You realize that you were doing weird things and doing trauma bonds and stuff like that with people just so you can feel better about yourself. So what reason why I'm not dealing with it is because, like, I didn't put you on that trauma. I could see myself how certain things I could trigger your trauma, but you can't blame me for something I don't even know about or wasn't there, didn't have anything to do with. Now, if we were in a past relationship, I could see that and I cause some trauma. That's different. But like, as two new people and we're dating, you cannot bring your trauma into this relationship. So that's why you need to come 75% healed. Like I said, there's always room for growth and we always can be better and always grow together in a relationship. And I get that, but I can't deal with somebody like trying to trauma bond, trying to bring things, I guess, like just try to bring things into our relationship that don't need to be in our relationship, causing, bringing, I get, what's the term, the right term will be making nothings into somethings. So I don't need that. We don't need that type of environment in our relationship. So that's one thing about it. Let me see. Yeah, I really just feel like that last 25% is negotiable. Like, we can really like lock in and heal together at that last percentage, because now we recognize what our triggers are. We recognize what our real issues are with ourselves and what things that we don't like anymore or things that we had to get rid of in our old self. So we kind of like just figure that all out, and that's hey, like I just feel like you cannot bring that into the relationship. So I ain't going for that. Number two, your insecurities. That one and two go hand in hand. They definitely do. They definitely are like right next to each other. So insecurities can cause or your insecurities can trigger trauma. And I'm saying that, and I get it. I know all of us have insecurities about ourselves, but again, you're into I'm not that nigga that cheated on you. You know what I mean? Like I'm not the guy that, slept with your best friend and did something dirty to you, yelled at your mama. I'm not that guy. Um, I'm not him in that way, I guess you could say. Like I'm not that. So your insecurities of thinking that that possibility could help happen again. That's why I'm talking about being healed a little bit more before you start dating other people. Like your insecurity of feeling some type of way, that's your imagination. Now I'm not saying that maybe I've done something that could cause that. I'm not being insensitive at all when I'm talking about this list. I'm just trying to be more realistic. Like I'm trying to think of everything. Like I said, I'm always trying to think of everything holistically, but I'm trying to be realistic as well, because I'm not the guy that hurt you. So why would you think, why is your guard up while you're getting to know me in the dating stage? Why is your guard up, or why are you even in this stage if you're not ready to like get back into the groove of dating? That's what I'm saying. That's my biggest pet peeve. Like I don't want you to be here if you're not ready. um and I think when people do things like that, you stunt the growth of the relationship. I think that it can cause issues in like making nothing into something. It can cause trauma in a relationship already, and it's kind of one of those things where it's too early sometimes. And we've seen it all before. When we start dating somebody, like damn, you start to see like, oh, this ain't the honeymoon stage no more, where it's all roses and honey and shit like that, where it's all sweet. I mean, it's all good just a week ago, and now we over here beefing and shit. So it's one of those things like you kind of just want to be ahead of. And like I said, your insecurity can cause the weirdest things to trickle down in our relationship. It's like we have this big wonderful balloon, and we're flying high. The balloon is getting bigger with more progression of time spent, quality time, loving on each other. And then your insecurities start to poke holes in that balloon. Now we start to sink back down to the ground. It's a crazy analogy. I know. I think I just be coming up with shit like that off the top of my head. I didn't even write that down actually in my notes. But I mean, that relationship is like a balloon sometimes. You got to make sure nothing punctures that shit. You got to have that tough, like a tire. Like you got to be tough in some of these relationships, because you just can't let things bother you sometimes. You can't let things take over. Like if I know this is a good woman, I can't let my insecurity of me getting cheated on in the past think like that can happen to me with this person. Yeah, it's a 50-50 toss up sometimes, but what is dating again? Dating is a risky business. It's an investment. You're investing into somebody. You're trying to buy into what they're selling. And I mean, you can't even knock me. That's the real. It's the real. Like that shit is the weirdest thing ever, bro. But I'm like, is really what it is. When we going out, we start dating people and we starting to get to know them. Dating is an investment. It's a risky business. And I'm in the business of that. So like that's why I'm like, everything I do, especially with the podcast, is just trying to bring our relationships closer together. That's all it really is at the end of the day. I'm just trying to make sure that we get that, we understand that as black, people, black, white, whatever race you are, Hispanic, Asian, no matter. Like it's a risky business going out and trying to date people. It's time invested, money invested, hearts and emotions invested into this shit. So try your best not to let your insecurities dictate your fucking relationship. You know what I mean? Like that's the best thing. So like I said, I had in my notes where I was like, I get it. Like I said, I know we all have insecurities, but at the end of the day, I'm not that friend or that person that did you wrong. So don't bring that shit over here to me like I did it to you. You know what I mean? If we like to me, I'm at a level. I'm gonna talk about it because it's a little later in my list of my five, but we're gonna get back into that groove of communication. Like we're gonna have to put our big bag, big boy draws and big girl draws on and have these conversations. You know, as much as I hate difficult conversations, I wanted to be like free. You know what I mean? I don't want to be scared to have conversations with people I love or want to love. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to feel scared to communicate my feelings to somebody because I know they might not receive it right. And I know, me, I'm a wordsmith. I'm a good guy with words. I'm a gift for gab and all that shit. But sometimes as good as I am with gift of gab, people don't receive what I'm giving them the right way all the time, and that's okay. So I just got to learn how to. This is like I said, I'll get back to communication a little later down the list, but it's important. We need that. Like we need to be able to have these difficult ass conversations about your insecurities, about what like I think once I'm in a dating situation, I got to get deep with you. And some people cannot get deep like that right off the bat. Like I'm just prepared. I prepared myself to have these different conversations because I need to. I feel like that shit is healing. Like to be able to tell somebody what happened to you 5 or 6 years ago and be able to talk about it openly and freely, that means you at a higher level of heal. In my opinion, I could be wrong. Don't get me twisted. You know what I mean? I could be 100% wrong. I just feel like that's the shit that I would love in my partner. I wanted my partner to be able to communicate and be able to tell me their flaws and tell me what they're scared of off the, once we get comfortable, of course. Like, I mean, I'm not talking about first date type shit. I'm talking about after we've been dating for, and that 3 to 6 month rule. Like once we get to that range, I need to know that you feeling this way. You know what I mean? Like I need to know that this is what you need. You know what I mean? Like that's just me. That's just me. Um, I think it really does go hand in hand. It really changes the complexity of the relationship. So don't bring your traumas, don't bring your insecurities. Number three, lack of accountability. So in the real, I got really in depth with this one too already, but I really think, hear me out. I really think your lack of accountability stops our progression as well. And that's something I'm just not going for no more. Like I'm not, it's no bone in my body that has pride. Now, pride, I think we all got it. We all got that. It's evil sometimes. We all have pride issues to a certain extent. For me, my pride don't matter to me when it come to like me being wrong, and I'm gonna say sorry and take accountability for it. Now, there's always that long joke, ladies. I'm sorry, we gotta get in y'all ass a little bit. Y'all really don't be taking accountability for shit. Not all, just some. Not all, just some. But the lack of accountability in this relationship with me, I ain't going for. You feel me? Like I'm just not dealing with it. And like I said in the real, I was just talking about it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay. We all make mistakes. We all do. Now the problem is when I tell you about a mistake you made and you still don't see the mistake, even though I'm explaining it to you, and you still don't take accountability for it. That's our issue. The mistake isn't even the issue. We all gonna make mistakes. I'm a fuck up, and you gonna fuck up, but that's okay. It's all about how we recover from the fuck up. Remember that the mistake ain't the problem. It's how you recover from the mistake. That's what defines who you are as a person, and that's who defines us as a relationship. Now, I'm not saying that's the all to be all, but it's number 3 on my list. You feel me? I ain't about to be dealing with that shit, bro. I'm not about to be sitting here listening to you tiptoe around the fact that you can't take accountability for something that you did wrong. I refuse that shit, bro. We not gonna work out. I'm sorry. We just not gonna work out. But hey, it's a thing. It's a thing, and I feel like we need to be more attentive about that. We need to have more, I guess, fortitude about it. some Has some more energy about why we not taking accountability for things. We could talk about it, women not taking accountability forever, but there's some niggas out there not doing it too. I get it, ladies. I'm sorry about that on behalf of my kind. But I just want to be clear that, like I said, this isn't. I feel like this is something that I needed to stand on more, because there's a lot of back and forth. And as an Aquarian, I don't like to argue. I don't like confrontation just naturally. Now I will handle my business when I need to, but if I can avoid it, I'm gonna always go the route of avoidance, because I just don't feel like arguing. Using too much energy going back and forth with you about some bullshit that shouldn't have happened in the first place. I kind of just let a lot of shit roll off the chest. I let a lot of shit just roll. You feel me? I let a lot of shit just go, and some things I'm just not gonna let go of. And like I said, I'm never going to be the person to embarrass you or anything like that. I'm gonna just talk to you when we get back to the crib, and we're gonna have that conversation. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I just don't feel like this should be a thing, but it is. So like I said, it's the biggest issue. The mistake ain't the problem. It's the fact that you ain't taking accountability or apologizing even for the problem even happening. It's just like, I get it. Sometimes we don't understand the mistakes that we make. So then when I provide clarity and explanations on what I feel like this is a mistake, take accountability for it. Hear me out. Just like you want to be heard, I want to be heard too in our relationship. Food for thought though. But number 4, this one is an interesting one, right? Number 4 is lack of creativity. Now, call me sassy all you want after I explain this though, but hear me out first. I want my woman to plan our dates too. Like, I know we are in a generation where this 50-50 thing is a thing, and that I don't even know why it's still a thing now to this day in 2025. It was some shit that we started talking about in 2021, maybe even 2020, but whatever, fuck it. I know the 50-50 rule and everybody talking about 50-50 or who provides and this and that. I just grew up in a world where providing was universal. It was done together. And I've been around that environment and seen that environment my whole life. Even my friends to this day, I see them doing the same things. So when I say lack of creativity, is the fact that I can't be with somebody that can't do things for our relationship as well. Now, I'm just talking about in the dating world. So don't give me, the 50-50 thing is more in relationships, but I need to be able to see you up front. I need to see my girl, the girl I plan on being with. I need her to be able to plan dates. I need her to be able to, you know, take initiative on doing activities, because it's not only just me. And like I said in the real, I definitely am the man, for sure. For sure, you're right on. I am the man, and I'm gonna plan dates, and that's what's gonna happen, because I'm pursuing you. You're the beauty of the eye of the beholder. I fucked that all up. I'm just the what is it? The beauty is in the eye of the beholder, or whatever. It's cool. All of that, the chivalristic shit, all of that. I'm with it. I'm gonna do it. But after a while, momentum kind of goes down. Morale kind of goes down when you not reciprocating that same energy. You feel me? That's a good one. Reciprocation is big. I should have added that one as a bonus one for real. But I'm gonna talk about it right here in the lack of creativity. I need you to be able to take us out. I mean, it's not all about always paying who's paying for what. That doesn't really matter. I got bread. You got bread. Whoever feels it kind enough in their heart to pay the bill this time, we'll just deal with it at that point. But nigga, the fact that some of you ladies out here can't even plan dates or have the knowledge to even create a simple as date of just going out or asking somebody if they want to go on a date, it's crazy to me. And like I said, you could call me sassy, but I'm not asking you to pay for the date. I'm asking you to be creative and try to plan a date for us to have a quality time. If you were paying attention to me, you should know what I like, and I've been paying attention to you, so I know what you like. So I'm already 5 steps ahead of you because I feel like I'm a professional dater. Now, y'all already know what I mean by that. If the ones that know, then know. But when I say I'm a professional dater, is that I know how to date in a way where, I'm like, oh well, you might, some of you might be like, well, you don't know what you're talking about, nigga. You still single, but I just feel like I'm single by not choice, but I'm just single because it's not my time yet. We can go down that rabbit hole a long. We could do that shit a lot, but don't worry about that. um, and I think when even just to speak on that really quick, when it's your time, you'll find out, and you'll know when it's that time. So, and that's just God energy. But lack of creativity. Let's get back to the point. Lack of creativity is just like, I need you to plan fun things for us. Do some kind of cool, spontaneous stuff. I ain't saying let's go jump out a fucking plane, but shit, I might do that one day. You know what I mean? Like, let's do that. Let's work to it first, because I'm not a nigga that kind of jump out of planes. That's just some white boy shit. But people do it. People do it all the time, and I'm just like, all right, we can do it. But I just want to make sure that when I say lack of creativity, it's understood as I don't care who pay for our dates. I just want to see what you think, and I want to make sure you fucking with me like I fuck with you. That's really what it comes down to. I just really feel like I shouldn't have to plan everything. I shouldn't have to come up with ideas for us to do and us to be more intimate. Of course, like, sex is a thing. We want to do that. We want to be creative in the bedroom as well when the time comes. But on the surface level, I want to make sure I'm dating somebody that can be creative and do things as well as I'm doing them for them. Otherwise, my morale will go down. And it's something lack of creativity is definitely that's why I named it number 4. I'm not, like I said, I'm not going from like least to greatest, but I wanted to put this on the backside because I feel like this is important. We don't talk about it enough. Like, everybody, creativity and the shit, and fellas, you too, you in this bullshit too. Like, you shouldn't have to let your girl plan dates all the time and your girl be the one creative. Like, let's switch it up. It's a team effort. Dating is a team game. And if you plan on it, that like I said, one of my biggest fears is doing it by myself. Like, I don't want to be dating myself. That's insane. Now, to your points, I did talk about solo dates last week, but that's a whole different world. I'm talking about actually dating somebody, and it feels like you're fucking by yourself. You plan everything, you pay for everything, you do all the legwork, and it's just not joined together. That's what I'm talking about, and that's the crazy part about dating. You know what I mean? Like, it's like how you playing a 2-man and you playing by yourself. Like, how you playing a 2-player game but you playing by yourself? You make it make sense. But lack of creativity is important in a relationship, because it's something I'm not bending on that. Like, I'm creative as a person as it is. Like, I have a podcast, I have a t-shirt clothing line. I do things creative all the time. My creative juices is always popping. Like, and sometimes when it's not, I will hope my partner can pick up that side and start planning things and doing things for us, creative things to get us out the house, some shit like that, or get us, like I said, this is us just dating. So we're trying to get to know each other. So hopefully you have the creative juices to start doing creative things. Show me a side that you didn't show them other niggas. You know what I'm saying? I want a different version of you. Like I said, you coming to me 75% healed. I need to see a new you. I want that old shit that you was doing with them other niggas, because I'm not doing the same shit I was doing when I was doing with other women. So let me know what y'all think about that one for sure. Lack of creativity is number 4. Last but not least, you already know what it is. You already know I'm gonna come with it. I'm always gonna talk about it because that's how I'm living. Like, I'm spitting at some shit. What am I doing? Like I said, let me adjust this really quick. Oh, my hand. Shit heavy. I need to get a stand for real. But let's see, make sure this shit not making messing up. Can you hear me? Holla holla. Test test test. But anyway, so number 5, lack of communication. It's a deal breaker for me, honestly. And I realize that I hold on to things and hold on to people. Oh, not things, but I hold on to people when, even though I'm not getting a fair shake at things. Sometimes I'm just super patient, or sometimes I can be too patient. And when it comes to letting people go, this is a reason why I left this one last, because I want to get real deep with y'all real quick. Um, Lack of communication is a deal breaker. Like I said, it's just something that I'm not budging on. If you fail to communicate with me, it's a no-go for me. If you can't communicate your emotions or your feelings, even though they might be scary, because I'm going through the same shit. It's not hard for me to open up, but I know when I'm dating somebody, I have to be just as emotionally intelligent and physically intelligent with them, and understanding the signs. Like sometimes you're not always going to be 100% right, but I have a big thing where I always bring up like past relationships and stuff when it comes to these topics, just for this one reason. I remember dating one of my exes, and she just couldn't tell me what happened to her back in her old relationships. And I just never understood it. I just never could understand, like, why can't you just tell me what happened to you a long time ago? I'm not gonna share what she told me, but when she finally opened up, but it took her so much time, and so much time was wasted on this topic, and when we could have been moved on and probably had a better off relationship, when I because I'm just looking for information. And let me tell you this. Some people, I get it, and I understand why some people don't tell people shit, because people take it to their advantage. And I've heard it from my fellas, and I heard it from some girls that I know. People take the information and try to flip it. And I've never been that guy. I take information that you give me as fuel to be healthy in our own relationship. I'm not playing with you. Like, you tell me some shit, I'm only using that information so I can stay away from it. I don't want to trigger you. I don't want to put you in a situation where you felt like you had to make that decision again. I remember one time when my homeboys got into it with his girl, and um he told the girl that, hey, don't do this ever. This hurts me. His new girl did the same shit his old girl did, and that shit was tragedy. It hurt my boy. It hurt me hearing it. But it's like one of those things where you knew that information and you chose to choose violence instead of trying to do something and take it a healthy route. That's the shit that I'd be worried about. And I think most of us are worried about that. But me personally, I'm not gonna let that shit stop me from being open and honest. Like, I think I have this thing in me where I just have to tell you how I feel. And now, I mean, at this older age, it's not, and I'm not trying to tell you just to be petty, or or anything like that, or trying to get back at you. It's just that I'm just trying to choose the better route. And sometimes me choosing that route doesn't help. And that's okay. We've been through it before. We've been through this situation before. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to make sure that the lack of communication doesn't happen going forward. Like, I'm not, that's out of the five that I gave you. I mean, all five of these are important, but communication is probably the top of them all. Like, communication ruins every relationship. Well, sorry, miscommunication ruins every relationship. And the fact that if you have the lack of communication, you can't be with me, because I'm always consistently trying to check in on you, make sure you're okay. And then I'm always having that mental and emotional, um, I guess, fortitude to be able to have that strength to be able to do that. And as a man, I'm supposed to lead into that. So if I'm not tapping into my emotions as a man, how can you as a woman tap into it? So I already know I got to come with it off the rip, because as a part of being and just being masculine, you got to be able to show that side of you. At least that's what I think a good boyfriend and husband would look like. Um I just feel like, off the rip, like I said in the reel, off the rip, I'm gonna find out what your communication style is. I need to know what type of talking do you do? Like what type of, are you a texter? Are you a FaceTimer? Like what's your do you like to send notes and shit like that? Do you like to be on the phone looking at each other and just not talking? You just like that quality time type communication. So sometimes people could just be around and not talk at all. That's cool too. But I'm gonna try to get to learn you at that point. That's if you have a communication style. You know what I mean? Like some people just ain't got it, and that's okay. You're gonna have to learn that on your own, because around here you gotta come with it here. You feel me? Yeah, can you hear me? Do you dig that? Because I ain't playing with that shit, bro. Like you better come to a point where you know what the hell you doing when it comes to communication. Because if you lack that style, we just not gonna work out. It's inevitable. I mean, let's be real. If one person is communicating their feelings all the time and the other is not, and they're closed off and shut off because of past traumas and past insecurities, how are we supposed to grow? You let me know. I'll be here waiting. I almost dropped my phone. That's how funny that was. And I really feel like as a man, I'm not a mind reader. You better come to me. You better come being able to talk and communicate your feelings, because I'm gonna look at you like, oh, okay, you fine. And some days I will pick up on the signs. Most days I will, because I know how to read the room. But sometimes the room be spinning sometimes. You feel me? Do y'all get that analogy? Because sometimes you could just be a really good day and you not seeing that your partner just going through it. So communication. I need you to tell me like, hey, if I shut down and I look like I'm moving slow or something like that, something might be really wrong. Check on me. I need you to be there for me as my partner or somebody that I'm dating. And I need you to, let me know that you're interested in me in that way. And some people just shut down sometimes, and that's okay. I promise you though, like if you could come to me like that and communicate with me about how your feelings are, I promise I'm always have your back and I'm always be there for you. I'm gonna always work hard for your love and make sure that you're taken care of. That's just me. You know what? It was funny. You know what doesn't get heard? Silenced feelings. And let me repeat that. So, you know what doesn't get heard? Silenced feelings. And the reason why is because ain't nobody hearing that shit that you ain't telling nobody. Basically, uh, I think this is one of those things where um, it just comes down to a point where you have to be able to communicate. You have to talk about these feelings, and you have to talk about what you feel. You got to. I always love that part of ATL. I always say it on the podcast is when Uncle George is like, you got to understand the difference between what's real and how you feel. Everything else is in the between that is just feelings. So be able to talk to me about, when we dating in the early stages, I know it takes some time, but I think if I start off with that energy and I continue to keep that energy, you kind of see who I am, right? So I think that is the key. I think that's what people should do. But who am I? I'm just a nigga with a podcast. I'm just saying, man, like these are 5 things that I don't think I could budge on them. And I think I needed to talk about these more. And then as I talk about them, I really understand them more and more. I start to like really see that about myself. I really understand that this shit is a good set of 5. Like these are my dating expectations of 2025 that I am not bending on. If you can't communicate, I'm out of there. If you lack creativity and planning dates while we're starting to date, I'm out of there. If you have insecurities and you try to, like I said, there's not a problem having insecurities. It's when you're trying to project those insecurities onto me. I'm out of there. Your trauma, I get it. Trauma bonding is a thing. It can happen so quickly, but it ain't gonna happen with me. I'm not bending on that shit either. I understand we got traumas, and I can work with that. I can get through that, but don't try to project that trauma onto me either. And And oh, sorry, did I skip thing? Oh, lack of accountability. If you can't be accountable for the mistakes that you make in our so-called relationship, and you don't see anything wrong with it, and when it doesn't matter if you didn't see anything wrong with if you don't see it at all, and when I'm bringing it to you and I'm explaining it to you, you still don't see it and you still won't take accountability, I am out of there. I'm out of there, Jack. And that's my top 5. I ain't playing with you. I ain't playing with you, man. So just so you know, I'm not dealing with that. Like I said, it's not shots taken at anybody that I've ever dated. It's just one of those things where I learned over the years that this is something I needed to do for myself. And there's no shade to anybody. It's just those were the things that I had to focus on. So with that being said, will y'all please, I need call to action, man. I need y'all to like, comment, share this episode with your friends or somebody that might have their own little top 5. I want y'all to let me know what you think about my top 5. Do you think I'm bugging? Do you think my shit is absurd? Let me know. I'm here for all of the feedback. So let me know. And also tell me what your 5 are, or tell me just what 3. Tell me what your 3 non-negotiables, your dating expectations of the year have been so far. Let me know how they've been working for you so far this year, because we're already in, almost in the 4th month of the year. So let me know what you think. Like, let me know how you feel. I'm really want to hear back from y'all. I appreciate y'all for listening as always. If you have any questions about this, feel free to hit me up at clv.bean, bean on Instagram, and Hades Baby on Twitter, HAITIS_BABY. And then also, if you want to hear this episode on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, it's just the I'm Just Saying podcast. So just let me know what y'all think, man. I really, really want to hear back from y'all, because this is my top 5. Like I said, this is just my opinion. Don't take it to heart. This isn't a shade to anybody. I have to put those things out because I have people in my life still to this day that might feel some way. But it's all love. It's all coming from a healed place. It's all coming from a centered place in my life. And these are just things that I felt like that I just couldn't bend on no more. I've been doing a lot of bending with these things. Pause. I've been doing a lot of rolling off the shoulders with these top 5, and I ain't doing that no more. Sorry. It's just not me. I mean, like I said, I have grace though. You know what I mean? Not every situation is gonna come directly straight up and down, like 6 o'clock. But it's just one of those things that I'm using as a guideline. And let me also put that out there too, because I feel like people stay using my 3 to 6 month rule against me. The 3 to 6 month rule was just a opportunity to like create a guideline for myself to make sure that if I'm gonna be with somebody, I need to see how they act within that time frame. And I think it's just healthy to be patient as well. So at the end of the day, dating is a patient game, and this is chess. This ain't checkers. But once again, man, I appreciate y'all. Let me know what you said. Like, comment, and share on all my socials. Please let me know what you think. I want to hear from y'all. I really want to see what you think about my 5. Let me know what your 5 is, and then let me know how your 5 has been treating you this year. So I'll holler at y'all later, man. As always, it's your boy Brandon, and this is another episode of the I'm Just Saying podcast. Amen. Peace.